Hello everyone, so this is Abdullah Khan. To start with, right now I am acting as a teacher. So yes, I am an actor. I do act many roles. Right now I am playing the role of a teacher since my students' exams is approaching. It's just one Sunday remaining. Next Sunday they will be having their NID examination, the National Institute of Design. After that we have other design exams to follow. Before that I have been again acting as a teacher. So since last 11 years I have been acting in the same role. Before that I was acting as a student, and before that as a child. So yes, till now I have acted as a student, as a teacher, as a UPSC aspirant, and many more, which I'll be letting you know about this. So that's about me to start off with.
That's a wonderful way to introduce yourself, I must say.
Thank you.
So, like you mentioned these roles. So, were you always clear of this definition of your next step, or the direction that you always wanted to follow, or how was that enlightenment open to you?
Never actually. It was simply put, I was more inclined towards being a motor man first. Like the first thing I did in my childhood was to draw. So I'm a very good painter, much better than these design students. Like any time give them a challenge and win it too. And so the first thing I drew was a local train with a pen. Never took a pencil in my hand. I used to hate that. So my first inclination was I wanted to be an engine driver. So I used to just go with my grandmom every morning early at 6 a.m. I used to take her hand and like pull her towards the railway station, where I just used to watch trains and the mechanism, how it is being driven. So the first thing that I learned was to drive a train. So I was like a 3 or 4 year old, not even knowing to cycle. Still I am very weak at cycling, forget even motorcycle. But yeah, train I can do wonders with. That was the first thing, and as I grew up, so then maths came into our life. And then finally we came to know life is so regretful for many people if you don't have a good teacher for maths. Finally that was short-lived. I got good teachers in my school. And the school years were, of course, filled with a lot of struggles. We used to stay in the locality where I was born. That was very near to my school, St. Joseph's High School, which is in Dongri. So yeah, Dongri is one of the famous areas. You have many novels, Dongri to Dubai. So Dongri was considered as the hub of gangsters and gang lords, and of course the first dawn of Mumbai also happens to be from the same area. But when someone comes to know that, okay, I am also from the same area, so are you dangerous or something like that? So yes, I am very dangerous when it comes to exams. I am so dangerous that exams fear to me, and that's why I have the trust of all these lovely students. So yes, that's maybe due to Dongri or something. I don't know, maybe due to my parents. And struggle was like we had to shift from our house to a place very far away from my school, which was in GTB Nagar in Mumbai. So that's around 20 kilometers from my school, and I used to travel all the way in a train in the morning. So my mom used to do everything for me. She used to travel 3 times a day to send me to the school, then go back, then to come to pick me from the school and go back, and then send me to the tuitions. That was again in South Bombay. So this was the circle she did. So of course, whatever I am today, it is because of her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here. Physics was something that happened in my life after maths. By the time I reached 10th standard, maths went away, engineering went away, and I was introduced to the world of physics, especially nuclear physics. So I wanted to be a missile scientist at that time. And also, a lot of credit goes to Bollywood movies, because at that time we had the release of the movie The Hero Love Story of a Spy, which was concentrating on nuclear fission and atomic weapons. So I was influenced by that, decided to choose a career in missiles, and said, fine, I want to do this. How to do that? Many people said marine engineering, or you'll have to do aeronautical engineering or aerospace engineering. So at that time we never had smartphones. So yeah, that would be a disadvantage. If this was the era at that time, I would have gotten into that. So by the time I reached 11th standard, I came to know, okay, there is something known as JEE, there is something known as IIT, which was pathetically tough at that time. We had books, and more than that, we had a huge amount of fees to be paid off in lakhs. So that was not my condition. So that was a strict no-no. That was like, okay, aerospace engineering is gone. I have to do something else. So I decided to continue with physics, and this is how I ended up being a science student in, fortunately, one of the prestigious colleges. I am very proud of that I was educated in Elphinstone College. That's in Kolaba. It's now it's a 170-year-old college, and all the bigwigs of India you would have them. You have the Grand Old Man of India, Dadabhai Naoroji from there. You have Dr. Ambedkar from there. You have Sanjay Das from there, and of course you have me from there. So I just wish I become great. Not as great as these people, but yeah, a little bit.
Definitely.
Sure, thank you. And then I continued for my graduation from the junior college till degree college. I fell in love with the college, with the architecture. So I continued with physics, got a BSc in physics, being the topper of the college in physics. And the next building was my next destination. It was again a marvel piece of architecture, the Institute of Science. In the British era, it was known as the Royal Institute of Science. So that looks as a parliament building if you look at it. Because many people have seen NGMA, National Gallery of Modern Art. Then you have the Institute of Science. All of them are housed in the same building. Okay, and it's a semicircle. So if you look at it, it looks like the Parliament of India, where it houses two institutes, the gallery as well as my next destination, from where I did my PG, which was again in physics. So I took up electronics. So I post-graduated as Masters in Electronics from Institute of Science, which I was again very happy कि अरे यार दो proud institutes मिल गए और क्या चाहिए. And then physics was something that sunk in. Okay, fine, I want to be a person in physics. So many people were thinking that okay, since these guys are postgraduates, so they may be applying for NET, NetSet to become a professor. I had no ideas about that, no forms of that, or even not even in my wildest dreams I thought that I would be a teacher. So teaching was never a choice of a career, never. I love my teachers still. I never used to be afraid of them. My school being a convent school, St. Joseph's, so it was totally, most of them were Catholic teachers. So I'm happy that I was brought up amongst them. So, and of course my auntie. So because of that contributed a lot towards my English. So because of that, I can confuse them a lot whenever it comes to spelling tests. Like just ask a student, okay, are you good at English? Yes sir, I'm very good. I've got 98 out of 100. Okay, can you please spell floxinoxine helibilification? Oh my god, what is this? So this is English. So relax. Don't be proud about it. You're just going to get a glimpse of reality. I don't scare them, but yeah, that's just a style of starting with the teaching. So by the time I reached graduation, again, as I said, since it was Mumbai, since it was Bollywood, so a lot of movies depicted heroes. So the next hero was the policeman, which again came to me naturally. The police force used to be there outside our house during festivals, so I used to just go next to them and stand and observe them, and I used to draw them. By the time I reached 11th standard, it came to me, okay fine, I have to make a career in this. Aerospace engineering was gone due to lack of funds. हम सबके बाप इतने अमीर नहीं होते ना, क्या करें, आम आदमी हम लोग, तो सपने ऐसे कुर्बान करने पड़ते हैं. और then the next choice was IPS, Indian Police Service. Okay, many movies were there at that time. Ganga Jal to mention one of them. That portrayed the real essence of the civil servant. So I decided to find was UPSC करना है. So I started preparing UPSC at an early age. By the time I passed my 12th, I got to know that there is some exam known as civil services exam. At that time in Mumbai, nobody knew that the IAS exam or IPS exam is actually the civil services exam. You ask them what is civil services, what are you talking about, boss? It was like that. IIT JEE was a tremendous craze among the people thanks to these classes. They are doing a great business. So my first destination was the Inspector General of Police at that time. I never knew whom to ask for, so I decided, okay, fine, I'll go and ask an officer. Why not? Why can't a kid, 16-year-old, meet a civil servant? So I was very mad at that. I never knew that these guys are very busy, technically busy. So I just barged into his office, met his steno. I remember at that time one person was very famous. One was Rakesh Maria, and who is my idol also, and the other was Javed Ahmed. So out of these two, I got to meet Javed Ahmed after 1 week of struggle. I finally got his appointment. So he was very cordial in welcoming me as a 16-year-old student. This was about when I was in 12th standard. So he told me how he prepared for UPSC and how it goes off, that you have to study. They used to study 14 hours a day. I got really 14 hours me? I never believed that. But somewhere I had the inclination. So I started studying. And it became very easy to start at an early age. So by the time I reached my graduation, I had cleared 2 or 3 UPSC attempts of CDS, Combined Defense Services, to get into the army without telling my parents. So one day I was about to get into the Punjab Mail to join the services. So I was called for the final call in MP. So my dad got to know about it, and he just caught me at the railway station. And तू नहीं जाएगा, हमारा एक ही बेटा है, कसम है मुझे. Okay, fine. I was back at home. Parents नहीं सुनेंगे discuss. Then I concentrated on civil services. I told them, fine, I'm doing this. Okay, do that, but don't go into the police services. I didn't say them, okay, my preference was police services. It also has administrative and foreign services. So I told them, okay, fine, I'll go into the foreign services, IFS. Started preparing. The exams came nearby. I turned 21, which is the starting age limit of UPSC. So I started attending those exams. They were quite difficult at that time. But somewhere I knew, okay, I'm a little bit less prepared. So by the time classes, maybe I reach my third attempt or fourth attempt, maybe I'll clear it. So in these years, I used to do weird things in my college. Since it was UPSC and since it was my graduation going on, I never used to attend my lectures after 12th standard because unfortunately we have very less of good teachers in physics. Okay, so my first year was 100% attendance, and that's my biggest regret till now. I even tell my students about this. They attend the lectures, but if the lecture is not so good, do something else. So first year I attended everything. From the next year, for 4 years I never attended anything. I used to be in the college, but my Elphinstone college is like, on one side it is the Sessions Court, one side it's the Maharashtra Police Headquarters, behind it's the One Maharashtra Battalion NCC Headquarters, and a lane away you have the Bombay High Court. So I was surrounded by these legal people. So I used to barge into session courts, taking advantage of my appearance, and I used to wear formals as a student, so nobody stopped me. And I started viewing the court proceedings. So that helped me a lot when I turned 21, and there was a subject known as case studies in UPSC. So I had already seen that, okay, these kind of cases were discussed in front of me by that judge, so how he was taking the question there. So this is how the journey of education went through those 5 years and then the next 2 years in the same area. So by the time my last attempt was there, and I was like, hell, nicely prepared, which I cleared a few rounds, and the final round came. So it was 2020, and everybody knows we all faced COVID at that time. So that was a tragic time for me to choose between my mom's health and my career. So it was like just me.